Okay, a couple of things. All right, now, if you're easily triggered, this is the time to get off. If you're easily offended, you can't handle someone else's opinion, this is the time to go, because I'm about to give it straight, no chaser, no empathy. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about children. And one thing I'm very passionate about is children. Children do not ask to be here. Therefore, when we make them, it is our responsibility to give them our all. Give them our all. And men are constantly condemned for not being fathers, not doing this, even though there's a system that puts them in positions to not be fathers. They are vindictive, evil, nasty women who keep men and fathers from being fathers, away from their children. There's a whole system that benefits from this, and it was created for this, to destroy the homes. But first off, being a single mom, in so many cases, not all, but in so many cases, is a choice. When you have children with a man, you have to choose the right man to have children with. And some people say, oh, well, they switch up, or oh, they did it. No. A lot of people are having children without properly vetting the person, without knowing the person long enough. And even if you do know them long enough, not having the conversations that you need to have, the essential conversations. Dating and everything is cute. It's cute when it's just you. But when you are sexually active with someone to the point where pregnancy is possible, and anytime you are sexually active with someone, pregnancy is possible, we have to have the conversations that matter. We have to have tough conversations to see, is this the type of person that I would like to reproduce with? Is this that person? Do we share similar values? Would we raise kids effectively together? And ultimately, is this a person that I can be with for the rest of my life? Because if it's not, that's out. That should be the first thing you're figuring out. Is this someone who I could love and be with forever, and vice versa? Then kids and the thought of kids can come into mind, because a lot of people are doing it in reverse. You're having the kids, and then you're realizing, oh, I can't stand this person, or oh, we don't get along, or oh, we're not compatible. It's too late. I am a proponent for staying together for the kids, and a lot of people disagree. Of course, if your life is in danger, whatever. But the point is, people say, oh, well, what about my happiness? If we're not happy, it's not going to work out. That's the point. Make children with someone you're going to be happy with being for the rest of your life, or at least content, because children need both parents. Mothers and fathers are equally important. And I would partially argue that fathers are more important. And I'm just going off of experience. I've seen a lot of people grow up without fathers. I've also seen many people grow up without mothers, and that were raised with their fathers. The ones that were raised by their fathers, and from what I've seen, were a lot more, grew up to be a lot more functional and productive adults than those who grew up without a father. Because a lot of fathers that I know that are single fathers, they don't hold the resentment that a lot of single mothers hold. And they just have certain equipment. Now, to me, mothers are super essential in the formative years, when you're a baby, when you're an infant. And another reason why I will argue that men may be even more essential is because the things that make us women so essential to parenthood, a lot of us are foregoing that. We're not even doing those things anymore. Things like breastfeeding, um, And breastfeeding is something I'm very passionate about because it's something that women of today um, are foregoing. Now, ultimately, people have been not breastfeeding for decades, but the numbers are skyrocketing. So many women don't even try to breastfeed, they don't even think about it. Formula is immediately what they're thinking about, not knowing how terrible formula in the United States is. United States baby formula, it is ridiculous. Not even just formula, everything. The diapers, they're toxic. They're full of endocrine disruptors, all these dyes and things that set off bad hormones. All of these jabs that we assign our children in America to take. The jab schedule is preposterous. The amount of manufactured, man-made jabs that are put in our young children. That's why autism has skyrocketed. These are just my beliefs. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I read and what I believe. Just everything. When women, they're not doing their research. A lot of women are drinking while they're pregnant. They're smoking reefer. They're still just not doing the bare minimum. And then a lot of women don't breastfeed because they're ready to get back to drinking. They're ready to get back to the lifestyle that they were living before. They're not doing the basic things. It's a blessing from God that we can produce milk just like other animals produce milk for their young. It's a blessing, and we're taking that blessing for granted, just going straight to giving the Similac and all the other terrible things. American formula has fluoride in it, it has GMOs. Now, other countries ban a lot of the GMOs, just like our processed food is terrible. The baby food and the baby formula, all of it has the same terrible things. The baby wipes, everything. But I could do a whole deep dive on that in itself. So a lot of the things that us women provide are in the formative years that are so essential, and many of us just don't even want to do that. We've just become extremely lazy when it comes to that, and people say, oh, well, some women can't breastfeed, and oh, everybody's different. Yes, of course, and of course there's a lot of health things that you can look into to cure whatever has you not able to perform those natural bodily functions. But regardless, just lazy in general. Women, a lot of women today, they are throwing their kids in daycare at 6 weeks old, 2 months old, and people say, oh, well, I got to get back to work. Yes, that may be true, but let's be honest. A lot of women don't want to be home with their kids. They don't, just like all of these TikToks, all of these, however many TikToks of women talking about how they don't want to be mothers. Um, let's see.